Greetings fellow pagan pals, Bellarosa here for another episode of my Pagan Pal Crafts and Such, the channel where you can find pagan related crafts and such, and we're making a big Yule sign with a broom attached made from a baseball bat. We'll hang it up as a symbol of protection and good luck. So let's get started. You'll need a big board. I picked this one up at Hobby Lobby. It's 26.5 inches long, plenty of surface area to work with. These mounts at the back will be placed at the bottom instead of the top to help with hanging my broom later. At first I struggled with choosing a base coat. I mixed white, black, blue, and purple together for a gray that was too dark, and then I mixed black and white and did a speckled look, but I thought, that's too blotty. So then I was like, okay, how about just a simple solid gray, and that worked. Sometimes you have to play around with the palette before you get into the swing of things, and that's okay. I want that winter feel, so I'm using the tip of my paintbrush as a dotting tool with white paint to give the appearance of snowfall. I have these curly Q letters from Michaels. They're ready to use, but I'm gonna glam them up a bit. First I applied Mod Podge, and while it's still wet, I sprinkled some white glitter on it, shook off the excess, and allowed them to dry. Then I covered the letter surface with more Mod Podge to seal in all that glitter. I'm using just a touch of white glitter and Mod Podge mixed together for a slight shimmer on my snowflakes before moving on to attaching my letters to the board. When it comes to centering the letters on my board, I'm more focused on the empty spaces on either side of the board because this is where I'm decorating, and I want to make sure the spaces there are equal at about 4.5 inches from the end of the board to the side of the letter. I'm also making sure that the letters aren't set too close to the bottom because I'll be doing some more painting there as well. I use the pencil to mark the top corner of my letters, so when I hot glue them down, I know exactly where to place them. I want to create a forest here with sloping snowbanks, so I'm using white paint to create an irregular border and then filling it in. There's no right or wrong way to do this. Going with the flow of nature is part of the Yule theme here. There is a lot going on with the return of the sun, the ray of hope, and the uncertainty of the dark and cold. So don't worry if the paint doesn't fall exactly where you want it to. Just let it be and enjoy putting positive energy into your crafts. And remember to subscribe and hit that notification bell. I saw these frosted ferns in the Dollar Tree and they sort of looked like little trees to me. And this ornament here has this awesome silhouette of a deer, which is perfect for my winter forest look. Now I bought 2 of these deer ornaments, but only one side is complete, and I want the deer to face each other, so I painted the other side white, but then I saw I have some rust seeping through the paint, so I sealed it with Mod Podge. It dries kind of worse looking, but it is sealed, so with a couple more layers of paint, it should be fine. And to get rid of the streaks, I switched to a foam brush. Now there's some cracking here, probably from the heat of the hot glue, or maybe just from the acrylic paint and the metal. Whatever it is, it's a cool effect that I couldn't get rid of even though I went in with more paint. It still popped up by the time I hung it up, so it's no big deal. Just going with the flow of the season. I made a mark of about 9 inches on this decorative mini baseball bat and used white paint to cover the portion of the handle. The other half of the bat will be covered with a floral spiral of twigs from Hobby Lobby. I trimmed 3 bunches to 15 inches and then I removed the woven wire. Save it because we'll repurpose that wire to use it to hang our broom as well as our sign. I place each bunch around the pole to my paint line, and I have some twine here to hold it all together. Make a couple of double knots while keeping everything firmly held together. Decorate your broom to tie in with the season. I have a few pieces of the frosted ferns here overlaying each other. There's some silver ribbon to symbolize the moon, and little silver bells for spiritual communication and peace. There are some lovely white poinsettias for hope and pine cones for sustaining life. After trimming the top of my broom, I made a 5-inch mark at the back of my board at both ends where I attached a long piece of the floral wire with a stapler. It's important to zigzag and make your staples to help support the weight of the broom. I don't want the wire to dangle too loosely, otherwise the sign will sway, so be sure to shorten that slack to about 3 inches from the top of the board. And if you have any loose staples, just gently tap them with a hammer and they will go right back into the board. I took a small piece of wire and looped it around the handle, then twisted it onto the mount at the back of the board. And I saw the opportunity here to add more decorations, so I went for it. Lastly, I attached the bristles, and there it is. It's gorgeous, it's grand, it holds the spirit of that winter wonderland, and that broom looks so cool hovering in the air like that. Hang this sign at the entrance of your home for protection, anoint it with oils to make it the official welcoming broom of the season. Subscribe now, become a Pagan Pal, like up this video, and I'll see you next time for another episode of My Pagan Pal Crafts and Such. Bye!